for the Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship Round 5 clash between Father Casey's and Newcastlewest. Both sides in with a chance of reaching a semi-final this afternoon. And it's Newcastlewest only needing a draw, but Casey's needing a victory to prevail into the last four. Beautiful afternoon so far here in West Limerick. As mentioned yesterday, Adair earning their semi-final spot with a victory over St. Kieran's, joined in the knockout stages, quarter-final spots for Kieran's and Kildimo-Pallaskenry, while also today Monaleen and Clahan battle in Mungret for the other quarter-final space, with Newcastle and Casey's battling out for the semi-final place, and of course the quarter-final place will be decided. Also Ula facing Galbally, and with relegation worries intact there, whoever loses that game will be up against Ballylanders in the relegation play. But it's all about the semi-final spot here in Drumcolour this afternoon. Quick check on the teams now, starting with Father Casey's. In goals is Shane O'Connell, full back line of Dermot Buckley, Fiacre Cotter and Robert Brown. Half back line Sean Kilbridge, Cormac Roach the captain at centre back, and Mark McCarthy. In midfield is Adrian Enright and Eli Reardon. Half forward line Cathal Broderick, Dylan Quirk and Daniel Daly. And a full forward line on this Father Casey's side, Chris Smith, Martin Scannell and Rory O'Brien. Manager on this Casey's outfit from Abbeyfield, John Colbert. Over to the Newcastlewest lineup now. In goals Michael Quilligan, full back line of Mike O'Keefe, Darren O'Doherty and Brian O'Sullivan. Half back line Ruan O'Connor, James Kelly and number 24 Cian Sheehan comes into the starting lineup for Todd Donovan. Midfield Emmett Richter and Newcastlewest captain Ian Corbett. Half forward line Sean Murphy, Shane Stack and number 18 Diarmuid Kelly coming in for Stephen Brosnan. And the Newcastlewest full forward line Owen Hurley, Mike McMahon and Brian Nix. Newcastlewest managed by Jimmy Lee. Pa Ranhan joins me in commentary here. Pa, big ramifications for this game for both sides, of course. Newcastlewest only need a draw to advance to the semi-finals. Father Casey's needing a win. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. Do you want the extra game or do you want to go the direct route? Yeah, you'd probably feel out of the two, it just feels like a more important game for Abbeyfield. They probably just want to get that big win under the belt and bypass the quarter-final stage that probably hasn't been too kind to them over the years. So the less knockout games, the better. Serious test here today, though. Like, they are probably two of the form teams in the competition at the minute. If you add in Adair at the other side and maybe Dark Horses Monaleen as well, but getting through is the big thing. That's been achieved already. But you just get the feeling around that it's just a bigger game for Abbeyfield today. Casey's have had so much underage success in recent years. We've seen them against Monaleen earlier this year. They've scrolled or eased through, I should say, the group stages so far. They've been very, very impressive. What's been different from this year from your side? They just seem to have scores from everywhere. Like, they're putting up big scores, but they're not relying on one or two to bring the big scores. They've scored some. Most of their forwards are contributing. Their half-backs are getting up the field and contributing. They just seem to have that spread, like, which is a big asset to them, because over the years, I suppose, the scoring was going to be the issue for them when it came to the big games, and that'll be the test today. Like, they've done it against the teams probably that they felt they should be beaten. Today is a test against a team that maybe have had it over them, near neighbours. There's a lot to it. Even walking in there now, it just feels like a big championship game around, and it's great to have it. Of course, Newcastlewest, reigning champions, pal. You don't get bigger tests than Newcastle on their day, and you know, likewise have come through with relative ease to this stage. It's just a funny one where last game fixture same yesterday between Adair and St. Kieran's. Whoever wins, winner takes all in the last game of the round, but you know, Newcastle with Ian Corbett leading them, they're a seriously impressive outfit again this year. Yeah, and they've added to with the likes of even looking out there, Emmett Richter midfield, like a serious athlete with the 20s. He's just out of minor, and when you're a team that are on top and you're adding to it like that, it does make you even stronger. It's Adrian Enright straight away for Casey's, delivering this one into the full forward line. Casey's wearing their blue, playing from right to left as you see it on screen. But it's Darren O'Doherty coming out beautifully for Newcastlewest, gets his pass away. And that's Brian O'Sullivan switches it over to that left-hand side, and it'll be a very deliberate build-up. Yeah, the teams will be wary of each other. As good as their forwards are, you have to respect that. Like, and looking back there, we feel do have a sweeper dropping in, and Mark McCarthy already, and it's just, you have to give that respect, especially early on. Yeah, it's played into the middle now, and a chance for Emmett Richter to play this one over to the left-hand side. Maybe the first opening score on its way here. Newcastle forced backwards again to Richter, gets his hand pass away. Again, going through the process, happy enough to go back to Ruan O'Connor, and across then to Ian Corbett. Corbett looking for the runner, and he's found one as well. Good ball inside It's Brian Nix trying to win it. Nix has it. There's it back to Diarmuid Kelly wearing number 18, but very much starting for Newcastlewest this afternoon into Cian Sheehan. Likewise for him at number 24 in the back, but starting this game. Signal comes then to the left hand side. And it's on the run with it is Sean Murphy. Vastly experienced Murphy plays it to his left. Run down the line. And Pat, you mentioned cases with a sweeper. They've looked very well organised. Martin Scannell coming back out from full forward.
Yeah, he did the same against Moline a lot of times and left Rory O'Brien and the likes inside 1-on-1, and they'd hope that if they do get a turnover, to be fair that day, they've been very quick to transition up the field, and it's I suppose the first thing is the first part of that is get your hands on the ball, and at the minute Newcastlewest have been very patient. Yeah,
there is a breeze here that is favouring Casey's as well. Once Newcastlewest still holding on to possession very well, but just coughed it up, and it was good pressure from Father Casey's. That's Diarmuid Buckley that has it, plays it into the middle. And Casey's now, in fact it's Buckley in possession. Plays it across, a bit of a risky one, but it's worked out okay for Father Casey's. Now it's Eli Reardon playing it out to the right hand side now. And Sean Kilbridge bringing play up to the 65 metre line. Scannell, as we mentioned, out from full forward. Plays a good part in there, build up play. It's Cormac Roach now back at centre back. The Adrian Enright. So good for Limerick this year. Hope to repeat the trick with a lovely ball inside to Rory O'Brien. O'Brien doesn't get it first time, still on the run with it. Rory O'Brien looking to fashion a shooting chance, plays it back out to Martin Scannell instead. Good defending back there from Darren O'Doherty, and it's Casey's forced back towards the 45 metre line. It's intercepted by Corbett. It was good defending from Casey's, and now is a chance for Newcastlewest, having broken up that attack, to go on the run themselves. Corbett still in possession, into the middle it goes. 50-50 ball, there's a slip back there though, and it's taken by Shane Stack, delivered now inside, and it's a good ball inside by Owen Hurley. Again it's Brian Nix, needs a bit of help here does Nix. Again forced to go backwards, good play by Father Casey, defence yet again. And Diarmuid Kelly gets the call from Cian Sheehan, and Sheehan now will try to restart and ignite a bit of life into this attack for the 2021 Irish Wire product Limerick Senior Champions. Gets his pass away to Ian Corbett. Corbett now on the run, looking to get a bit of a shooting chance. It's a wild shot to, again, good pressure from Father Casey's. Cagey enough start, Pat.
Yeah, it's the way it's setting up here. It's going to be, scores are going to be very hard to come by and hard fought for. The previous Casey's attack was a super ball in from Adrian Enright to Rory O'Brien. They'll be looking for that a lot, because the way both teams are setting up, you're going to have to try and bypass that some way. And with Mike McMahon inside, you think there's a good target man for the Castle.
And speaking of Mike McMahon now, well, that was a shot, but it's going to drop in and around the edge of the square. It's a dangerous ball. It's well dealt with there by the Casey's defence. Robert Brown taking no chances, and it's worked out. So Fikra Cotter, and then it's Cotter now with possession, plays it across the middle. Eli Reardon. There's three Casey's players in close proximity, but it's Eli Reardon that has it. Again, just both sides settling down. It's Enright in possession once again for the Abbeyfield side. Into the middle there's a runner, it's Eli Reardon. Good link up play by the two midfielders. Reardon still going, has a man on his right, and there's a good ball out to that right hand side. And it's Cahill Broderick with possession, plays it back yet again. And it's Reardon, attempted hand pass, but it's easily picked up by Sean Murphy. And again Newcastlewest just getting their men back, making sure there's no easy run in for Father Casey's. And it's James Kelly plays this one out to Michael Quilligan, and Quilligan well off his line, but very adept. So much experience in this Newcastlewest side as Quilligan switches play out to Darren O'Doherty once more, and Pat, you see James Kelly and Michael Quilligan line linking up like that, you know there's plenty going on.
Yeah, look, it's the pace of the game is slow enough, but I suppose it shows what's on the line. Usually these games, if it was early on in the group, probably teams are taking more chances because there isn't much to lose, but I suppose this is the difference now between getting to the semi-final and the quarter-final, and it shows in the play of both teams. But like, they're still trying to find the weaknesses. That's why it's probably not the easiest on the eye at the minute.
Yeah, Mike O'Keefe now playing this one out towards Diarmuid Kelly. Kelly steps off his right, trying to get a bit of space, gets his pass away to Ian Corbett. Corbett, lovely little jink from Ian Corbett, has the chance to score, doesn't get a good connection on it. Shane O'Connell, we're happy to watch that one out, didn't get a hand on it. It's one of those ones where it bounces around the edge of the square. Yeah. It worried Shane O'Connell enough. It
was a weird one. I was surprised at Ian. Usually he likes the kind of outside of the boot ones, especially coming in there. To be fair to him, he's had two opportunities now. He's making defenders miss, and look, he'd want those two shots back, but he's definitely testing out the Abbeyfield defence.
Shane O'Connell with a second kick out of the game. Cian Sheehan takes the mark, and plays it quickly to Mike McMahon. McMahon happy to roam out as well as stay in it full forward. A lovely little flick there, and shooting chance, should be the first score of the game, comes from Shane Stack. The white flag will be raised. Lovely bit of skill inside, Pat, the greatest chance. I think it was on Hurley that just got the little fist of it.
Yeah, it was a lovely flick there. It might have been Owen or Dermot Kelly, but whoever it was a nice ball in from Mike McMahon actually, from after Keane giving the ball quickly from the kick out. And that's what I suppose you need to do after when you win an opposition's kick out. They're not set yet, get the ball moving as quick as you can. They did it there, and it was a nice strike from Shane over the bar.
Yeah, good better kick out from Shane O'Connell on the other side here as Casey's looking for a quick reaction to that opening score by Newcastlewest. Good run over there by Mark McCarthy. Now it's Chris Smith in possession, gets the hand pass away. Cathal Broderick, it's a 50-50 ball. Broderick has done well to try and salvage something here for Father Cases as they work the ball back yet again. Played all the way back now to their captain Cormac Roach. It's Adrian Enright with the pass to Martin Scannell. Scannell can kick them from long range, gets that pass away. Chance comes again for Dylan Quirk. And Dylan Quirk is levelling from Casey's point of view. Important they got a quick response.
Yeah, and it looks like if they can get the ball into Martin Scannell's hand, he's a good man to orchestrate things, and they broke the line well there. And Dylan Quirk, to be fair to him, he's able to kick off right and left, and it was a lovely score and a great response for Abbeyfield to the score, and that was nice football.
Quilligan with the kick out here, goes long in towards midfield. 50-50 ball. Cormac Roach is the man to win it there, looking for a free. Hands all over from Diarmuid Kelly, but okay on the ball, says referee John O'Halloran from Broree. And now it's Adrian Enright, and the foul on the ball by Enright. Or sorry, Eli Reardon it was, and Eli. The reaction wasn't much to John O'Halloran's liking. It's going to be free to Newcastlewest number 1. The ball brought up as well.
Yeah, look, he's going to let things go. That's grand. This is the way it's going to be. I think both teams would like it that way, especially the way they both defend. But yeah, look, it was probably an opportunity to attack for Abbeyfield there, but some hard hitting as a turnover, and Diarmuid Kelly working up the field now.
Eli Reardon and Adrian Enright trying to converge as the rain starts here in Drumcolor. It was a lovely warm day about 10 minutes ago before we got started here. Just the rain falling now as Ian Corbett launches this one high in towards Mike McMahon, closer to on Hurley. He could have taken a mark there, he didn't take it, and it's going to be a free out to Father Case. He's surprised not to see him take the mark there, Pat.
Yeah, probably just didn't realise that that he could take it, or maybe he felt that rule of him not being allowed to be tackled straight away. Like, so look, it's referee's interpretation sometimes, and he just said play away, so got away with that one, I think, Abbeyfield.
Yeah, it's back now to their full-back Fia Cotter, plays it outside to Dermot Buckley, and now on the line is Sean Kilbridge with a bit of room to run into initially. Rowan O'Connor though has put him under severe pressure, and it's ended up just getting a bit slippy now, and he's handled that one on the ground. So free for Newcastle, and they're going to try and move it quickly. Ian Corbett has it. The initial chance maybe to move that ball up fast hasn't worked out for them, and it's into midfield now with Emmett Richter has his partner in the centre of the park. Ian Corbett, close proximity again. Corbett looking to find an opening, looking for a runner off the shoulder. Eventually a bit of a run comes from Cian Sheehan, and Sheehan now trying to find a pocket of space for himself to create something here. Good diligent work though from the number 12 on the Father Casey side, Daniel Daly, moving from half back to wing back, and probably just to mark Cian Sheehan.
Yeah, looks like it off the ball the whole time, and fair to Daniel, like he'd been knocking around Limerick scene as well, inter-county, so probably know Cian fairly well, so it's probably a good idea there. But yeah, it's getting slippy now, but I think a few lads will be reaching for the glove shortly.
On the run now, Emmett Richter gets the pass away over on that far side. Newcastlewest again throughout this game doing well to hold on to possession, doing it fairly easily, but Father Casey's happy to play the patient game. Out to Rowan O'Connor now on this near side. O'Connor, bit of space thrown into, quickly crowded out by Eli Reardon. And back again it comes. Shane Stack to Darren O'Doherty. Plenty of space, pockets of space around, but Casey's managing to close them at the right time here, and Newcastlewest forced to switch it across to Mike O'Keefe. O'Keefe has that bit of space to run into before he's met by a couple of Father Casey's defenders, and Newcastle just again happy to hold on to possession back.
Yeah, and whatever breeze, like you said, John, is with Abbeyfield. Like, so I suppose Newcastle aren't too urgent about their play. They know that was good pressure there from Abbeyfield, and the turnover.
Yeah, it's Adrian Enright with the turnover, kicked it along the ground, fly hack if you want to call it that, but there was a foul as well. And you know, Casey's have shown, Pat, they're going to be patient here.
Yeah, they are, and like they also show when they do get the turnovers, they're anxious to move it forward, which is a great to see, because it's one thing to get the turnover, but then you have to try and use it quick as you can, because Newcastlewest are very good at getting set up, but with a slow ball here now, that it gives them a chance again. But so it's the first time now that we'll see have the patience to break down this defence.
It's on the run now. It's Daniel Daly. Daly under pressure. Gives it across to Martin Scannell and has a fast Cormac Roach from 45 metres. Can shoot from here. He's seen a loose man instead. Still in Cork. He's fallen as Cork. He's done well to get back up though. Under severe pressure, Dylan Cork needs a bit of help. He's got it in the form of referee John Halloran with the free in. And you know, Dylan was going nowhere. He slipped at the wrong time maybe. Managed to get up and managed to force a free. That's much, again, a very good play from Father Casey's.
Yeah, and again it was the combination of Martin there, Scannell being able to find Cormac Roach kind of coming from deep, and Cormac definitely has that in him to take on that shot. It was a great ball out to Dylan. Probably was thinking about putting it over the bar even before he could get turned, and actually did well there, because a lot of fellas when they get boxed up like that, the ball will come loose, and he held onto it and he won the free. And you'd expect Scannell now to make rewards out of it.
Yeah, Martin Scannell close in, just by the 13-metre line by the time he strikes it. Chance for Father Casey's to go ahead for the first time in the game, and that's exactly what Martin Scannell has done for Father Casey. So I wouldn't say confidence booster, perhaps relatively straightforward.
Yeah, look, he probably knew we were nearly marking it down before he had kicked, but they've had 2 shots at goal, Casey's, and 2 points. Like, so they've been very efficient in their shots to scores ratio. Newcastlewest probably had more of the ball in attacks, but it's Casey's who lead.
Sean Murphy battling to win that kick out, but Casey's again forced a turnover, and Adrian Enright on the run finds Shane and Chris Smith out to Scannell once more. May have a shooting chance. Martin Scannell to put it into a 2-point lead. There was a little slip in the Newcastlewest defence, and Scannell took full advantage.
Yeah, and it was, again, we were saying earlier about off kick outs. If you can win an opposition kick out and they're not set, they went straight on. Adrian Enright drove, Chris Smith, and Scannell, to be fair, is having a big influence in the game, and he's a bit of a crowd favourite as well here. Anytime he touches the ball, things seem to happen.
Father Casey's leading 3 points to 1 here in Drumcolliher. We've played nearly 13 minutes of this Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship game. That's Newcastlewest now that are on the attack, and there's an extra man here. Chance for Shane Stack to run into pace. Cormac Roach has done very well to get back. He's fouled the Newcastlewest man there, and there's going to be a talking to as well, and maybe a bit more.
Yeah, I think John is just probably going to, I don't know, people are shouting for a black, and the way he's stepping away you would know, but I think Shane, I don't know, he seemed to slow. It was a well worked move. First of all, they've obviously something they've worked on to get him in behind, and he seemed to just wait for the tackle to come in from Cormac. And look, I think it's just a ticking, because he was probably going down already. It was a foul, alright, but it was just a ticking, and that's the way it's going to be from John O'Halloran. And look, that was very good. You could see that was something. Emmett Richter is very good in the air. He went up for it. Ian Carver was underneath and delivered that straight in, and it's a good way, I suppose, for any team that's pushing up in their kick out. That'll test them the next time.
That's Owen Hurley with the resultant free. No mistake from Owen Hurley, a 1 point game, Pat.
Yeah, look, it's coming alive a small bit now. It's up and down. I think if they can get possession either off their own kick out or the other team's kick out before the other team gets set up.
And there's another chance here for,
and just inside the D there, I'd say. Yeah,
just a little mistake by Shane O'Connell, who's been a little bit off at his kick out so far. Not like him.
Yeah, he'd usually confident enough with the short ones, especially, that he'd try him. And with these balls from Mike McMahon, he might as well hand it to him now, you feel like. But it's the small mistakes like that come against you in the long run.
50-50 battle, and again, as you'd expect, it's come out Newcastlewest way. They've forced another turnover for Father Casey's. They worked it well. It was Adrian Enright that went in with Mike McMahon plan. It's Adrian Enright that ends up with the free as well.
Yeah, and you could see they're trying to get a foul maybe and slow him down before they get break. And look, it's a lot of the top teams do it now, get that foul to slow him down. But Abbeyfield managed to break out here.
Yeah, and it's a chance for Mark McCarthy into the middle. Well worked to Chris Smith. Smith now with a bit of space to run into initially before being met by the challenge of Rowan O'Connor. Back it comes to Dylan Cork. 1 point in the game so far, and again slowed down in the end, and it's Cormac Roach in possession. That won't bother Father Casey's one of their most creative players. Gives it to another, and Adrian Enright. Enright delivers, looking for the run of Rory O'Brien. Rory now in fine form in the championship so far against Brian O'Sullivan. Needs a bit of help though as Dear McKelly gets in the challenge. There's plenty of Newcastlewest players there, and they've forced the turnover. James E. Kelly has it. And it's back to Mike O'Keefe, and they'll work it into the hands of Emmett Richter, who switches it across to Mike Quilligan, and Newcastlewest start again. Yeah,
they'd probably Casey's be better served not to be putting the balls into the corners, because Newcastlewest very good in swarming around and getting the bodies and getting turnovers. A bit more patience there. I suppose if Rory had been able to take it and not fall over, that would have helped too. But yeah, they'll go again.
They will indeed, with Sean Murphy in possession for the Magpies. course, beating Adair in last year's final, 1-8 to 5 points. That goal from AJ O'Connor proving crucial. This time Owen Hurley has taken the mark and saw the error of his ways, maybe, Pat.
Yeah, is it Owen Hurley or Brian Nix? One of the two anyway. Yeah, but look, that's the advantage of winning out in front. Just take your time. You've made the run. You've won the ball. Take your play and see can you put it over the bar.
It's Brian Nix indeed who's done exactly that. Nix, excellent strike, had the confidence, man, not to work it into someone, had a go himself, and there's the levelling score.
Yeah, he's a clever player, Brian, to be fair. Usually does the right thing and makes the right decisions, and that usually leads to good outcomes, and that was a good score for Newcastlewest they gave, and they're back level now, and you feel that Abbey Field need just to make use of the next ball or two they get.
Yeah, they are, and Sean Kilbridge has done very well to come out of a bit of a hole with possession before finding Adrian Enright, and it's Mark McCarthy now in possession for Father Casey. Tries to find a ball to Daniel Daly. Mike O'Keefe took a chance, but Daniel Daly it worked out for, needs a bit of help though. He slipped and over carries, and that's just a little top surface of water we've had from the rain.
Yeah, just cornering out. The last two attacks have seen the end of the Abbey Field move, and straight away Newcastlewest are on the attack again.
Shane Stack to Cian Sheehan, and Sheehan when he's at full tilt is a very hard man to stop. Of course, All-Star nominated for 2022 after Limerick's run to the Munster final. Played across to Brian Nix. Lovely little bit of play here. Nix onto his left hand, or left foot I should say, gives it back on his right before passing it to Emmett Richter. Richter off the left to put Newcastlewest into the lead, over towards Mike McMahon as well, but it falls to the right hand wide, but Newcastlewest back getting into their stride.
Yeah, must have had 6 or 7 attacks at this stage, and bit by bit they're finding gaps in the defence, and I suppose the thing Abbey Field have to avoid now is when they do get an attack that they don't turn it over, because they're open at the back then, and it's more Newcastlewest misses that have kept them score level to date.
Yeah, it's Father Casey with possession in the middle again. Eli Reardon across to Mark McCarthy, and now it's to Adrian Enright. Enright looking at what's ahead of him. They have to look at what's next to him here. Enright is overcarried, and a double hop indeed is the call from John O'Halloran. But again, that's all down to Newcastlewest pressure.
And especially Emmett Richter, and he's a serious work rate, the young fella. He covers some ground, and he was no better man than Adrian Enright. He was running down there and forced the turnover, and that's a big confidence booster for a fella playing at this level. And again, it's just, I suppose if you're on the Father Casey sideline now, it's like you've hit the last 3 times you haven't even got a shot off, and that'll be something that they'll be looking to change, because they won't keep getting possession. They have to start making use of it.
Update from Mungret in one of the other games. It's Munleen leading Claghon 3 points to 1 after 8 or 9 minutes there. So that's the hunt for the other quarter-final place here, as Newcastlewest going through their routines again, and Mike O'Keefe in possession for them. Has Emmett Richter with him. Richter, 3 Father Casey's defenders around, so he gives it back to Mike O'Keefe, and O'Keefe heading towards the middle, needs a bit of help, finds it before it comes back again to Owen Hurley. The pass from Rowan O'Connor back to Richter. Emmett Richter now trying to take on his man. And it's Fikar Cotter that just held that one up, and it's Cian Sheehan now switches it into the middle. That was the call from behind us in the commentary area here in Drumcolour, and it's Rowan O'Connor once more in possession. Newcastlewest will be as patient as they need to be, but they're not in any hurry to get this one.
Yeah, and I suppose they're seasoned enough, even though looking through their team, they've a bit of youth sprinkled in this year, but they still have a lot of seasoned fellas who are orchestrating it when they do get slowed down, and they kiss of death now probably, but they rarely make the wrong decision when they're faced with a defence like this, and they're just happy to keep the ball at the minute out this far and wait for their opportunity.
Ian Corbett now near touchline here, delivers this one long. There's good movement inside, and it's taken in by Brian Nix once more. Nix looking for a bit of help maybe, but eventually finds it, and pass comes across to Diarmuid Kelly and into the middle once more here for Newcastle and Rowan O'Connor. The shot comes in the end, and that's again, it's patient defending for Father Casey's. And as you mentioned, Pat, maybe spoke too soon, the mistake came, but it's more to do with Casey's, I think, there than Newcastlewest.
Yeah, I'm just surprised at Brian, because he actually was in close to the goal 2 or 3 plays before it and just decided to pass it out, and went for one that was probably a lower percentage one, and they'll be happy with that, Casey's. It gives you a bit of a boost when you sit up that long and you're able to force a wide. There's a good battle going on between Robert Brown and Brian Nix. There must be about 15 or 16 years in the age difference there, but it's Robert is wily enough to stay with him, but they're both of them having a good tussle at the minute.
That's Casey's on the attack here now. Hand pass from Dylan Quirk, nearly intercepted by Emmett Richter, but Adrian Enright was on his toes, and Casey's are on the hunt for another score here that will put them back in front. Eli Reardon has been very prominent in this game, plays it out to the right hand side. It's Chris Smith now looking for a bit of help. Chris Smith maybe going towards goal himself, Eventually, James E. Kelly getting the foul in, the over carrying call, and it's no surprise that's two that have gone near James Kelly. Pan, a turnover has come each time.
Yeah, look, it's a bit naive, a small bit from Casey's. They're just getting caught running down alleys, and that's exactly where Newcastlewest want to send them, because they are very good in that situation and forcing turnovers and getting bodies in. And James there again is happy out with that turnover. But look, just be a bit more patient. Wait, like Casey's do have runners through the centre when they get them lined up, like the Cormac Roach, Eli, get Martin Skellin on the ball again. He usually makes the right decision. But yeah, that's 4 attacks now in a row for Casey's and no shot.
Yeah, just an update from Mungra. The Brian Donovan penalty has put Monaleen 1-4 to 2 points to the good after 17 minutes there. So it's looking at the moment like Monaleen have the other quarter-final spot as it stands in Group 1 of the Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship, as James Kelly plays this one across to Darren O'Doherty. Darren he doesn't usually like going past the 45, Pa.
We all have our roles, especially in a football team.
Out across it goes now to that far side, and Brian O'Sullivan finding Emmett Richter. Richter now again. Newcastlewest in no rust. It's Richter again. Bring it all the way back to Mike Quilligan on the 45-metre line now, and Newcastlewest in no hurry and no rush. Pa, we saw this last October when they played it there in the county final. This will not bother Newcastlewest one jot.
No, it's not the most pleasing thing to look at, but when you're out in the pitch, I can tell you if it's effective, you'll keep doing it, and it's been effective for them along a few years now, and they've learned from mistakes maybe about being a bit too open, and they're making sure that they're going to keep possession. And as we say, Jamesy gives the ball in, that's very, very 50-50 at best. But again, Abbeyfield now need to get a shot off at least in this attack.
Yes, Daniel Daly forced to go backwards and back into the middle. And good support play by Father Casey's. Again, Mark McCarthy playing this one to Chris Smith. Smith takes it on soccer style. He's been tripped soccer style as well. Yeah, he's a yellow card in a game of soccer, Pat.
Irish Junior International, I think, Chris, and he was playing recently. So again, he's a fella they'll be looking to get into the game. He's serious pace in the team, and like Mark McCarthy's making good runs up the field. Eli's getting up the field. They just need a bit more, because they won't do it in ones and twos. It has to be more than that against Newcastlewest defence. Yeah,
Chris Smith from Father Casey's and AJ O'Connor from Newcastlewest playing with the Irish international team, junior soccer team, during the week, as Adrian Enright has a go. It's their 5th attack, Fad. Finally they got the shot away, but from Adrian's point of view, maybe a bit rushed.
Yeah, and it's probably symptomatic of a team who haven't scored in a while, and they feel okay, we need to kind of maybe force it a small bit, but it's their first attempt at goal that hasn't gone over the bar. And like, if you didn't know the score at the minute, you'd certainly think that Newcastlewest were well on top on the scoreboard. They're not, it's level, but they are forcing, I suppose, Casey's into making a few bad decisions, and bit by bit as the game moves on, that'll wear them down a bit.
And wide there for Adrian Enright, so the score remains at 3 points apiece here in Drumcolour. As Michael Quilligan plays this one long towards Emmett Richter. It's Enright's hand that gets to it, and it falls into the path of Eli Reardon, and Reardon on the charge now for Father Casey's. He's going to have a go from far out, Eli Reardon. It's a lovely strike from Eli Reardon. Scored a game, Pat, worthy of any team.
Yeah, it was all his own work as well. He won the break, and he just broke a tackle, which is what you want. You just want someone to go, I'm going to beat you, and he just decided in that instance he was going to found the pocket of space. And we've seen over the years he's a lovely strike at the ball when he gets that space, and lovely score, big score for Abbeyfield, because now they just have that boost of being ahead, have them been under the cosh for a while, and they find themselves up a point.
Indeed they do here, and they're putting pressure on this kick out from Michael Quilligan. He eventually goes short to Rowan O'Connor, and O'Connor has done well to work this one across to Darren O'Doherty. And it's O'Doherty holding on to the ball. It's a bit of a mistake there. Martin Scannell's in on Michael Quilligan. Quilligan in a bit of trouble here. Manages to get the pass away. Obviously shipped a heavy enough belt there, Pan. John O'Halloran's going to stop this, and I think Michael Quilligan's in a fair bit of trouble here. Yeah,
and it was just, there was nothing malicious really. It was just that the ball was there, and he kind of went for it, but he definitely made contact with Mike Quilligan. Looks like it looks like he might be alright, but it's definitely probably a mark left from the boot of Martin Scannell. But it was their own making. Newcastle, the ball was a bit short, and it was there to be gone for. And look, John Halloran's a seasoned referee. He's usually makes the right decision on these things, and he's just looking at it as just an accidental thing.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything deliberate. The ball, as you said, Pat, was there to be won. 50-50 ball, a mistake indeed by Newcastlewest, and It was nearly capitalised on there by Martin Scanlon, and there was certainly nothing deliberate in there with that, but as a result, it's Mike Quilligan that's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, it was interesting. I just looking at the team sheet, looks like Stephen Kelly's down as the substitute goalkeeper. I wonder, is that the case? If he was to be called upon, that'd be interesting inside the goals. And of course, Mike was outfield. Mike Quilligan played many years in the full forward line, so it's the way things have gone now in football that the goals isn't the place that people are avoiding anymore. You almost enjoy playing there.
I don't know, Pat, playing goals many years. Enjoyment isn't the word I'd use, but that's for another day. There's a serious amount of concern here for Michael Quilligan, the Newcastlewest goalie here. He's going to get up on his feet, but something we'll keep an eye on, Pat.
Yeah, I think it's probably, we can't see from here obviously, but I'm sure it's a mark that's left on him. There's no doubt about it.
Kind of a thing,
but I'd say it's something that you get on with it. Like it's not a anything break or anything like that. So Mike Quilligan's probably pointing at the referee. He's not too happy that it happened, but he's probably even more unhappy with one of his defenders giving him the bad ball.
Him and Martin Scanlon are still discussing the incident anyway. Two very experienced men. There's this one. Indirect free taken by James Kelly, looking for Cian Sheehan. A battle goes on between him and Daniel Daly, and it's Sheehan that's come out on top on this occasion. There's a runner there over on that far side of Brian O'Sullivan with the possession for Newcastlewest. Plays his pass away to Shane Stack, and again Newcastlewest switching it. Cian Sheehan delivers this one in. Dermot Buckley is there for Father Casey's, but it's Newcastlewest that have it once more. Ball goes back here. Cian Sheehan with it, looks to deliver in high towards Mike McMahon. There's two Father Casey's men there. They've done the initial bit of defending. It's worked out very well for Father Casey's. Exactly the right thing to do there.
Yeah, and they're managing that situation well with Mike inside. They're trying to get someone in front, and it allows Fikra Cotter to really attack the ball there, and they're getting numbers around the break. Then it's a weapon that Newcastlewest use a lot, and so far Abbeyfield have found a way to stop it.
And Cathal Broderick has done very well to win that possession. Frontal hit by James Kelly. It results in a free. And Broderick a couple of times has been dealt with harsh passes in this game, and he's come out well twice.
To be fair to him, he's not. A few people would see the black jersey coming and might have shied away from it, but he was making sure he won possession anyway there, and it was just a bit over. It wasn't over the top tackle from James. It was a foul all day long, even though he's talking about it there to John Halloran. But look, it's a free. It's a well-won free from Broderick, and look, Eli Reardon, he's definitely got the distance. It's just whether he's got the accuracy.
Yeah, 28 minutes or just over 28 minutes gone here in Drumcolour. It's Casey's leading by 4 points to 3 against Newcastlewest. That's Eli Reardon from a couple of metres inside the 45. With a chance to make this a 2-point game for the second time in this half. Reardon with the strike. It's a perfect strike. It's straight over the black spot, and look, a huge confidence booster as well for Eli.
Yeah, and you can see he's buzzing now after that score from play, and the free, like that's his bread and butter, those frees usually, and you can see his lovely strike of the ball, plenty more distance if needs be, and all of a sudden after being under the cosh for a while and being kind of a bit blunted and attacked, they find themselves 2 points to the good.
There's Casey's going for their 5th Limerick Senior Football Championship title in their history as Eli Reardon wins possession again. Under severe pressure, a number of Newcastlewest players, and they've forced a turnover, and Ian Corbett is on the run here for Newcastlewest. They're coming forward in droves here. The Magpies, Corbett still in possession, gives the pass away, shot comes in. That's a 1-point game yet again. A very well taken score. Shane Stack this time with his second score.
Yeah, and you can see he's good in that environment when he can get on the loop and throw it over once he gets that time to get set. But again, Eli Reardon actually did very well there and was probably unlucky not to get the free going that way, especially with the momentum he had, and all of a sudden Newcastlewest turn it over and they're breaking through. And again, as we've said a few times, both the teams, once they get a run at the other one and they're not set, they're finding gaps and they're able to get the scores.
Just a little reminder as if Casey's needed it. And if you do leave a counter-attacking Ian Corbett on the run, you could end up in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, and Newcastlewest, because they have so many numbers generally back, they can afford to take chances. Their midfielders are just going and taking that chance. We saw Shane Stack earlier on a kick out, just taking a chance and staying up and winning it. So looks like maybe an injury for, is it Ruan O'Connor now? He's just a knock, but he's tough enough. If he can at all, he'll run that off. But interesting game now. It's in the melting pot, as they say.
And not so much the case in Mungret here, as Monaghan have got a second goal, 2-7 to 2 points. They lead Clahan. It's Shane Cusack that has got it. So Monaghan in complete control in that game, and look to have already, even with 25 minutes gone in that game in Mungret, a quarter-final spot looks to be very much in their grasp here as Father Casey tried to work it out with Dermot Buckley. Buckley looking ahead, gets the hand pass away to Sean Kilbridge. Kilbridge looking to go low with it towards Eli Reardon. James Kelly is up and him tight, and Kelly did enough to help out Ruan O'Connor there. And it's Kelly in possession once more for Newcastle. Back to Mike O'Keefe, and in the end, back to Darren O'Doherty once more. Out to Mike Willigan, who seems to have got through that bit of a problem he had after that challenge by Martin Scannell. It's Emmett Richter now. Richter, again, thanks to the work of Martin Scannell, forced to go backwards to Mike O'Keefe. O'Keefe will head out to James Kelly. Kelly laying it forward, well worked into space here by Ruan O'Connor. Just the momentum stops as he drops that one. Still has it though. Does the number 5 for Newcastlewest on the run. Good challenging by Adrian Enright, and a chance for Father Casey's to win this one. And James Kelly plays this forward. And it's going to be from where the ball landed. Cian Corbett takes it quickly. Chance now for Dermot Kelly. Completely hooves that one into the air. Chased over there by Owen Hurley though. Hurley has managed to keep it in play. Didn't give up on that one. Back it comes. Now good challenge there though from Cormac. Oh, in fact it wasn't. It was Sean Kilbridge with the challenge. And Father Casey's trying to hold on to this one. The pressure is on. Newcastle have somehow come away with that. He's still going with it. A foul eventually comes, but a bit of a messy bit of play.
A bit of just a free for all there for about 30 seconds. Everything was let go, and look, that's grand too. It's helping the game get up and down, because another day to be 20 frees given to this point, and it's been handled well, and there's nothing too bad going happening. But yeah, it was a bit messy. A free probably helped tidy it all up. It'll be right on the edge of the range here, I'd imagine, for Owen Hurley. About he might be looking for someone to go short.
Hurley looking at his options. He's certainly setting up to have a crack at this one. He's got one free to his name this game so far. Definitely gets the strike. It's not heading towards goal. Mike McMahon is up for it, gets a hand to it. The half-time whistle comes from John O'Halloran. It's been a tense half. Football at times, Pan, not at its highest standard from what these teams would expect, but Casey will be happy to go into the sheds with a 1 point lead.
Yeah, I think they, even on the scoreboard, they'd be happy probably, even though they had a bit of a breeze. But even play-wise, now that they've kind of found maybe a rhythm, they just have to avoid, I suppose, the turnovers and getting caught on Newcastlewest kickouts, because they are the places that they seem to be finding themselves open at the back. But usually when they're getting set up, they're forcing Newcastlewest into maybe shots that aren't 100% on. And to be fair, they're shooting their own shooting. While we were I was saying about their attacks being a bit blunted for a while, they've scored 5 points from about 6 shots, so they've been fairly efficient on the other end.
From us here at half time, where Father Casey's lead Newcastlewest by 5 points to 4. Join us for the second half shortly. Welcome back to Drumcolour for the second half of the Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship Group 1 Round 5 clash final group game between Father Casey's and Newcastlewest. Effectively a winner-take-all into the semi-final of the Limerick Senior Football Championship, where Father Casey's leading here 5 points to 4. I'm joined for the second half again by Pa Ranahan. Pa, Casey's will be happy, as we mentioned before we went off air, at half time with that lead, but Newcastlewest in a fine position as well. They only need a draw, they don't need to win the game, and you know, it's a tough one to balance. Are you happier with the extra game? We mentioned it in our preamble before throwing. It's still very much the case where either side may be okay, but it's Casey's that really seem to be trying to push this one.
Yeah, you think coming into it that it's bigger for them, and just watching the first half, it feels that way too. There's maybe a bit of nervousness to their play, which can be a good thing, because it just shows they're kind of ready for the game. And it'll be interesting now this half, because look, Newcastlewest, I suppose, a few lads who are coming back from America and a few things, so an extra game for them is not the end of the world, they would probably feel. But look, I'm talking as if the match is over. It's far from over. It's a point in it. They'll be looking to win the match, and they won't certainly panic. They've been in situations like far worse than this. I feel it'll be kind of the nervous energy now of we're winning the game. Do we want it to win? Do we keep the foot down? Do we, maybe if we get a point or two ahead, do we start changing and become defensive and drawing Newcastlewest on? But I think the best thing for them, and it's suited them well all year, is to keep foot down and seeking to put up another big score.
Just an update in the other game in Group 1 of the Limerick Senior Football Championship. Effectively a relegation playoff between Ula and Galbally, all square at half time. Galbally 3-2 and Ula 2-5, so as tight as you'd imagine in that one. It's tight here. Monaleen leading Clon 2-9 to 3 points in the other game, and we're back underway here in Drumcolour, and it's Adrian Enright towering to win that throw, but it's Newcastlewest and Ian Corbett battling for it, and it's bobbling and bouncing around, and neither side able to win clean possession until Newcastlewest do, and even then it's not clean. A chance now for Kyle Broderick to win it, surely pushing it back. The ref says no. John O'Halloran leaving as much as he possibly can go, but it's Adrian Enright winning it back, and Cormac Roach back to Enright, and it's switched into the middle, and it's going to be first possession for Father Casey's bat. Yeah,
and Newcastlewest are putting the squeeze on straight away. They're not allowing any time for them, and they're looking to get a turnover higher up the field maybe in this half rather than sitting back.
Casey's have done well to hold on to the ball as Diarmaid Buckley plays this one across to Mark McCarthy. McCarthy on the run with it. Gets a bit of help from Dylan Quirk, and Quirk with the hand pass up the line as well to Daniel Daly. Daly has that runner in Mark McCarthy, and he has Rory O'Brien as well. O'Brien trying to fashion a shooting chance, gets the hand pass, so it's not a good one though. That's easily defended back there by Emmett Richter. And it's Newcastlewest trying to force it, and O'Brien has won that back. Shooting chance comes in from Dylan Quirk. Excellent score from Quirk. And Pat just shows once more, turnovers are massively important, certainly around the 21.
Yeah, and it was a sloppy one there from the point of view of Newcastlewest. They'd forced the turnover from Rory O'Brien, who hasn't seen too much of the ball in this match to date, but found its way to Dylan Quirk. He's shown to date, if you give him a chance, he'll take it. And again, very efficient from Father Casey's. A great start to the second half.
Second point of the game for Dylan Quirk. One off his left, the opening score of the game. And he's got another here as Newcastlewest awarded a free here that Cian Sheehan takes very quickly. Looking inside, high ball there, dealt with by Father Casey's initially. Falls to Shane Stack, and it's Sean Gilbridge has won the free. Battle between Shane Stack and Sean Gilbridge, just a shoulder into the back, Pat.
Yeah, it was a free, definitely there. Like, the first initial contact was fair, but then the second one was definitely a foul. But Sean, it's good strength there to get the turnover, and it's definitely Casey's who are coming out on top in the early exchanges of the second half.
That's Mark McCarthy in possession as well. Finds its way to Eli Reardon. Very impressive first half from the midfielder. Gets the pass away, and it's that pass delivered inside, but it's well picked up back there by Sean Murphy. It was McCarthy with the attempted switch of play. It didn't work out, and Cian Sheehan comes away with possession for Newcastlewest. Three Father Casey's players around him. Sheehan doing well to hold on to it, but the mistake is forced and picked up by Dylan Quirk. Off to Adrian Enright and Martin Scannell. Back winning it. Just shows a little dummy to Ian Carberry. Still going is Martin Scannell. He's got the foul as well. He's been an influential player throughout, Pat, and he plays this one into Rory O'Brien. O'Brien on the run, looking to get a bit of space against Darren O'Doherty. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. Gets the pass back. Martin Scannell tries to curl this one in. It's another beauty from Scannell, and it's a 3-point lead for Father Casey's.
And get that man the ball if you're Father Casey's, because every single time he gets hands on it, he's making the right decision. His close control there was excellent under pressure, and didn't even think about when that was popped back to him from Rory O'Brien. And a sweet striker right behind it. It was over all the way, and 3-point lead, the biggest of the game so far.
Great start to the second half by Father Casey's, and another battle for possession. Casey's looking to have it again, but it hasn't worked out. And it's loose play here, maybe in Newcastlewest's favour. It's Emmett Richter in possession from the edge of the D. It's Emmett Richter looking for an immediate reply. Hasn't found it, though. It's gone to the right and wide. And Pat of Father Casey's crowd behind us are absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like a point for you, because it's just, oh, please go wide. But it was just showing the danger. It's becoming much more open. I don't know, is it just because both teams are, well, Casey's especially, we're going to go for it a bit more now. They're obviously getting joy going the other way, but they also have to be careful at the back, because they need to manage it a small bit now, up 3 points. Newcastlewest probably have to push up a little bit, and that's where the gaps could start to appear.
Possession with Shane O'Connell, the Father Casey's keeper, now finds his pass to Dermot Buckley. Buckley, 2 Newcastlewest players on him, so forced to go back to Faker Cotter, who in turn switches it to Robert Brown. There's a bit more space for Robert Brown, and finds it towards Mark McCarthy. He's got Cormac Roach as captain in support. Roach back again as Father Casey's just happy to hold on to possession for the moment as Newcastlewest tried to put on the pressure. Casey's have dealt with it very well so far in this second half and throughout the game as well, to be fair. Cormac Roach finds that pass into the middle to Chris Smith. Smith needs a bit of help here. He's been fouled, and it's taken quickly. A chance now for Sean Gilbridge to run on. Has Dylan Quirk inside, and Eli Reardon eventually comes to Chris Smith. Smith can't get the ball up quickly, and Newcastlewest swarm around to force the turnover, and it's Richter that has it. Ian Corbett with space to run into now. Mark McCarthy's trying to get the pressure on, gets his pass away. Does Corbett to Sean Murphy. Murphy put under pressure again, but still going with it. Sean Murphy. Mark McCarthy has fouled, and there's going to be a free for Newcastlewest. John O'Halloran was playing advantage. The hand was in, and it could be a free here for Owen Hurley.
Yeah, it's probably handy one for a right-legged kicker, and he has a bit of breeze behind him. But Mark McCarthy, to be fair to him there, he did as much as he could do without being blatantly a foul, and he worked hard to get back before making the tackle. He's impressed me up and down the field today so far, but that last attack, they'd 4 men up the field, Casey's, and it just shows the value of a hand pass going to hand and went to ground, and all of a sudden, instead of a score for Casey's, you probably have a score for Newcastle.
And Owen Hurley with minimum fuss sends over his second free of the game, and it's a 2-point game once more here, and Hurley will score them all day, Pat. Yeah,
they're his bread and butter, and he's been really good over the years as a free taker from that area of the field, and it gives that Newcastlewest that little foothold on the half.
Yeah, it's Adrian Enright with a pass out to Sean Kilbridge into the middle here to Cahill Broderick, and Kilbridge has it now to Dylan Quirk. Quirk now down the line towards Rory O'Brien. Battle between him and Brian O'Sullivan, and it's Rory O'Brien that has got to the ball first. Gets it back now with a bit of help to Dylan Quirk, and Quirk forced to switch it over to Cormac Roach, and there's a runner and Mark McCarthy with him. McCarthy though just coughs up possession. Needless one. He just had the ball, knew what he wanted to do with it before he had it in his hand. It's up towards Mike O'Brien, but Faker Cotter's got the hand in, and Faker Cotter has pulled up, I think here. Either that he's pulled up, or he's just knew he wasn't getting to the ball from Father Casey's hope. It was just that, as Ian Corbett now has a runner with him. Ball doesn't come though, it's still Corbett with it. Ian Corbett trying to fashion a scoring chance, needs a bit of help, finds it over to its own Hurley. It's going to be a loose ball, and it's going to work out for Newcastlewest. It's Brian Nix off to Cian Sheehan. Sheehan to put one between the sides once more. Father Casey's were looking for a free, but didn't come, and Cian Sheehan slots that one brilliantly.
Yeah. And again, it was just a turnover. That hand pass again just went to ground when Casey's were attacking. Faker Cotter at the very end of the first half, he got a knock, and you could see it, and he was, I'd say it's more the case, can he just manage it and not getting foot races, because he's doing a very good job when the ball goes in high. He's got the bit of physique to deal with Mike McMahon, and he's winning a lot of those balls, but they'll want to keep him on the pitch and just manage the injury, because he's definitely got heavily strapped right quad. But lovely score from Cian Sheehan there off the left. He started his run from right half back, ended up at left corner forward, and slotted it off his left. But it's definitely, the game has picked up a few notches.
Yeah, from Newcastlewest point of view, they'll need Cian Sheehan on the ball more. Cian Sheehan and Ian Carr, but as obvious as it sounds, they just haven't got the ball in the right places so far.
Yeah, as much as Scannell has been very good, and Eli Reardon and Mark McCarthy for Casey's, you're looking at the Cian Sheehans and Ian Corbetts for Newcastlewest, and look, they usually come to the fore, but Sheehan probably usually doesn't have too bad half, so
kick out hasn't worked out for Shane O'Connell, didn't get hold of it all. Ian Corbett on the run here, looking for a free, still going in Corbett. Martin Scannell with the foul, not Martin Scannell I should say, it was Chris Smith, hands all over Ian Corbett. A chance for Newcastlewest fairly easily to get back to the level game.
Yeah, it felt like about 30 seconds ago that they were down 3 points, and all of a sudden they've definitely pushed up a bit in the kickouts. They've decided they've put a full press up on the kickouts, and they're making sure that they're going to try and turn it over there, and it's almost a carbon copy free for Owen Hurley from the one earlier on, and this is to level it for Newcastlewest.
Just a little loft of the right foot, little switch, and it's over the bar. It comes from Owen Hurley, 7 points apiece now, a third free for the Newcastlewest number 13, and Cian Sheehan's been moved to this near side, as is taken quickly here. Father Casey trying to get rid of possession, get out of their own area as quickly as they can. They've managed that very well as Cormac Roach finds Mark McCarthy, and it comes to Adrian Enright yet again. Casey's working that one to perfection. It's into Cormac Roach again, a hand pass comes. This is brilliant stuff from Father Casey, working the way up the field here before it's delivered, and that pass in the end not going to plan. Couple of hits off the ball the Father Caseys aren't happy about too, Pat.
Yeah, it's becoming a bit of a trend now, and the ball's been played around that centre. There's been a bit left on both players, on both teams, and look, the game letting it go is one thing, but I suppose there's a point where you have to try and stamp it out because it could get a bit silly.
Yes, Newcastlewest trying to put it over the bar, and that's exactly what they've done. Newcastle into the lead, excellent score there, Pa. And Father Casey's with a rushed pass into the 21-metre line, and they've been punished once more for a little mistake.
And all of a sudden it's Newcastlewest who have the lead, and we were only saying a short while ago, and John O'Halloran's going to make some decision now about a late hit there from James Kelly.
Yes, James Kelly told to calm things down by the referee. Anyway, it's Newcastlewest into that lead. It's Dermot Kelly with that last score. Dermot Kelly from 30 yards out. It's going to be a score. And it's Ian Corbett and Chris Smith battling now in the middle, and John O'Halloran's probably had enough of it, man. Yeah,
look, it's one of the few games that there's actually linesmen at in a senior football match, so they're mic'd up here as well. So it's good to see that, because they're picking up on things like that. Like, and look, it's part of the game, a bit of messing off the ball, as long as it doesn't get too serious, you know.
Yeah, I think Chris Smith and Ian Corbett, the unlucky ones that have been pulled out after a few niggles elsewhere. Yeah. It was fairly harmless between them. Maybe more serious ones had happened before that, but I think that's John O'Halloran marking it. Right, lads, I've had enough now. Get on with the game. And it has been a better second half from a football point of view here, but it's Newcastlewest now, all of a sudden ahead, looking to join Adair in the semi-final. A high challenge there on Dermot Buckley by Cian Sheehan. It's going to result in a free for Father Casey. They're looking to move it quickly to Sean Kilbridge, and he does in the end move it back towards Robert Brown. It's just getting a bit heated too, Pat.
Yeah, as it often does in the second half of these games. The finishing line comes into sight, but it's who manages this now, and often the thing between the ears gets a bit heated, and the wrong decisions are made, and people strike out or something, and it's usually the best teams who handle this the best, or the teams who win who handle it the best, and we'll see now in the next few minutes who does.
That's Rory O'Brien out very far here, looking to get involved in the game. Has a runner in Dylan Quirk. It's Dylan Quirk with possession. Plays this one back towards Mark McCarthy before playing it himself again into the middle to Eli Reardon. Eli Reardon on the run. He's got Chris Smith with him. Smith gets the hand pass away to Adrian Enright. Enright needs a bit of help here. It's pushed away from him. Battle between him and Ian Corbett, I think, back there. 50-50 ball, and it's going to be won by Eli Reardon. Needs a bit of help. Tries to get it back to Chris Smith. Newcastlewest battling for possession, and a needless foul on a Newcastlewest defender, and it's an easy out.
Yeah, and the game has just been played on their terms now a bit for the last few minutes, and they're making the most of the balls they get, and they're forcing cases into areas that they probably shouldn't be going into, but it's easy to say it from here.
Just over 12 minutes gone here in the Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship Group 1 game between Newcastlewest and Father Casey's, and it's Newcastle leading by a point, 8 points to 7. Father Casey's were leading 7 points to 4, but 4 in a row from Newcastlewest has them in control, and they're looking for a sideline ball there. There's a foul given to Chris Smith. It's a 50-51. Cian Sheehan and Ian Corbett putting the pressure on it. Smith takes this one quickly to Rory O'Brien. Just starting to rain again here in Drumcolor. And tricky underfoot conditions. Adrian Enright with the ball now. Enright going for the shot. Adrian Enright for one of the scores of the game. He kept it flat, he kept it low. Beauty of a score.
Yeah, and a big one, because like they were kind of struggling there to see where the next score was going to come from, and you're looking at your inter-county players especially to step up and do something, and Adrian Enright, just first time he found himself in a bit of space in a while, and it was a great strike into the breeze, kept it nice and low and zipped it over the bar, and level pegging again.
Level again here as Mike McMahon wins that kick out brilliantly, soars into the air to take that. And it's Newcastlewest on the run now with Shane Stack. Stack just has a bit of space, is going to deliver this one in, but it's not a good strike from Shane Stack, fan. So rare to see Newcastlewest waste something like that.
Yeah, and it was a strange one, because Mike McMahon wasn't actually inside there when he was kicking it. Usually that sort of ball in is, even if it drops short, he's around the house, but it just shows when he comes out to midfield for kickouts the damage he can do.
Donegal Dalek has got another goal for Monaleen Daly Clahan. 3-10 to 7 points as Ian Corbett with a lovely strike, very similar to the one Adrian Enright just got, off balance maybe a little bit, got the firm strike, and it's Newcastlewest into the lead as we have the first substitution of the game coming on for Newcastlewest.
Yeah, I suppose they're the ones that you're accustomed to seeing Ian taking on and usually end up with a score. First half he had one or two that were probably not the usual strike he puts into it, but they're the ones 9 times out of 10 end up going over the bar. And Fiacre Cotter is down here now for Casey's also, and he'd be a big loss to them because he's doing a very good job on Mike McMahon.
Yeah, it's Todd Donovan wearing number 7 on for Shane Stack, so Shane Stack punished just moments later after skewing that one wide when he tried to deliver into the middle. So
yeah, Todd Donovan was with the 20s as well this year. He's another, like, it just shows that they have that bit of youth coming through the whole time in Newcastle, and it's a good, he's very hard working, he'll get around the field. They probably feel they need someone like that, and they'll get enough scores from elsewhere.
Yeah, it's Newcastlewest now with that point advantage. Fiacre Cotter looks okay to continue, but it's going to be an ongoing concern for Father Casey's here as Shane O'Connell looks at his options for this kick out. Plenty of movement in the Father Casey side. He decides to go as long as he can, and into an ever freshening breeze here, and it's Adrian Enright picks up the loose ball from his midfield partner Eli Reardon, gets that one away. Rory O'Brien can't get possession of it, and that's happened too often from Father Casey's point of view in the second half. Just when they're breaking away into space, the pass doesn't go to hand when it really needs, and Newcastlewest looking to take advantage. Ian Corbett delivers that one in. It's a rare low one to Mike McMahon, but he takes it in brilliantly, does McMahon. Hand pass doesn't go to plan. Brilliant pickup by Dermot Kelly before losing possession. It is getting wetter, Pat. It is getting harder to control the ball.
Yeah, it is. Someone's name who he hasn't been called in a while is Dermot Kelly. Like, he's a player who Newcastlewest will want on the ball a lot. And getting caught under pressure here again.
They are. Could be a goal chance here for Newcastlewest. A save by Cormac Roach. Looking for a foul on Shane O'Connell, but it's Cormac Roach who's got his hand to it. It was a quick bit of play by Brian Nix. Saw the open goal, had a goal that Roach was back in time.
Yeah, and it just again, Casey's putting themselves, as you said, it's not the weather the way it is now. You don't want to be putting yourself under pressure with balls, and the Newcastlewest forwards are swarming around everything at the minute, and you certainly don't want your goalkeeper under pressure from Mike McMahon and Brian Nix, and he's got a bit of a knock, Shane O'Connell off the back of it. But big kick here from Mike Quilligan. He's got a bit of breeze behind him, so again you'd fancy that the range won't be an issue, and 3-point lead from Casey's. It could be very shortly a 2-point lead for Newcastlewest.
Quilligan has an ever freshening breeze to his advantage as well here as the rain gets heavier and heavier in Drumcolor. It's one of those annoying winds, Pat. It's going everywhere.
It is, and it's just, you would know well from out there that ball is very, very slippy now, and a 2-point lead in these conditions is a lot, because Casey's playing up the hill in Drumcolor, if there is one here, against the breeze and the rain into your face. They don't want to be falling too far behind.
No, they don't. Shane O'Connell seems to be okay to continue. He's gone back into goals. And it's Mike Quilligan from the 45. A chance to put Newcastlewest into a 2-point advantage here. So it's Quilligan with the strike. Got a good connection on it over the bar. That one goes. Didn't have to put too much onto it. Pan knew exactly what he was at. And the result is a 2-point advantage.
Yeah, whether it is 20 yards over the bar or a yard, it's still the same score. So he just bit of breeze helped there, but he knew it was there too, and a 2-point lead, and they're pressing on this kick out again.
And it's Adrian Enright that comes short for it, and it's possession for this Father Casey's side. Over on that far side is Daniel Daly again. Slips. The conditions are ever worsening here. Pass doesn't go exactly to Robert Brown's plan. He's doing well to hold on to it under pressure, and he's played it down along the line. As well as that, they have a sub on wearing number 24, David Ward.
Yeah, just came on there, and David have been around the block a few years. Like, probably need someone like that in the field now, but it's just the game the way it's been played in Newcastlewest terms the last 10 minutes, and they're really putting a squeeze on it. Kickouts every possession. Abbeyfield get their numbers, black jerseys around, putting pressure on, and they're going to manage the ball when they get it as well. So it's looking ominous for the Caseys at the minute.
Yeah, I think it's Mark McCarthy, that's the player that's gone off. We'll try and update that as quickly as we can here. As Brian O'Sullivan in possession here for Newcastlewest. Cormac Roach putting on the pressure along with Rory O'Brien, and it's going to be to Father Casey's.
I think it's Fikra Cotter who's gone off, and
Mark McCarthy's gone back, and it is McCarthy now that has it. Dermot Buckley marking Mike McMahon. Pa Rennan was just about to mention before I interrupted him.
It's a baptism of fire now for him inside there, because he's been very good in the cornerback position, but it's a different world when Mike McMahon in full back. But look, it's about next man up and see what he can do.
Yeah, and in fairness, Fikra Cotter was having an outstanding game, but just whatever little bit of an injury and knock he had, that was always going to be an issue for him.
Yeah, and again, if you're the losing team here today, whoever that will turn out to be, you could be out again next week, and any little niggles could, the extra day's rest for Kildimo could help him out, but they won't be thinking about that at the minute.
Cormac Roach into Martin Scanlon. No surprise to see that ball stay. Chris Smith looked for Dylan Quirk with the hand pass, but Newcastlewest through Rowan O'Connor have won that one with ease. Another poor hand pass, doesn't go to plan. And looking back at this game, if it is to be a defeat for Father Casey's, they look at things like that, Pat.
Yeah, and like just thinking back to when they were up 3 points and they had that breakaway and the hand pass didn't go to hand, and people just dismiss it as not a skill, but it's a huge thing. Like it's the reason for scores and the reason why you don't get them often, and it's been a curse for Newcastle or for Casey's in the second half.
Chance here, ball delivered in by Cian Sheehan. Bit of work on here, and Father Casey's really under pressure here. Sean Murphy goes to the ball. He kind of suckered Sean Kilbridge in, and Kilbridge fell for the plan from Sean Murphy, and it's a free here for Newcastlewest on the near sideline here, and Cian Sheehan's going to take possession. Scoreable, Pat?
I wouldn't think that he'll be trying, but given that they're up 2 points, but
stranger things have happened. He sees the run of Brian Nix instead. Nix now looking for a bit of help. He has it through on early. Decides to go backwards towards Sean Murphy. Takes possession again before finding Cian Sheehan. Sheehan now is going to have a go with this one. He's not. He's dropping dangerously in around Mike McMahon. Got a fist it, but there was a push. Pushing the back.
There was a push, and they are managing that well. To be fair, Cases, they're getting somebody in front and behind, and they're taking that threat away. But it's just they need to start finding ways to score up the end of the field.
They do here as Eli Reardon takes it. Nearly 21 minutes played here in Drumculloher. It's Newcastlewest leading by 2 points, 10 points late as Father Casey's cough up another possession. Dermot Buckley trying to get the hand in on Mike McMahon, but McMahon has won a free, has the advantage. The free eventually comes, and he doesn't get enough credit for winning low ball like that. But it wasn't an easy ball to take.
He's very effective, and it's not just that, like you said, it's not just the high ball in. He's shows well out in front. He was maybe a one-trick pony once upon a time, but there's so many other facets to the game now, and he's actually a huge player for Newcastlewest as they go deeper into championships.
Yes, indeed, as Dermot Kelly lining this one up now, from this far side. It would be a crucial score if he can land it and just push Newcastlewest into a 3-point advantage here in Drumculloher. It's Kelly. He got a decent connection on it. It's dropping short. Plenty of players going up for it. It's going to bounce out for a 45. I mean, Mike Quilligan will come up the field again. I didn't see a touch myself, but the umpire was very effusive in his decision.
Yeah, and you usually know by the reaction of the players as well. And none of the blue jerseys were given out, and the Newcastlewest were appealing for it, so it was probably a touch there off someone. But again, it's one of those things. It was not a very well struck free from Dermot, and they're still going to get another attempt out of it, and it just feels at the minute like that 1 or 2 more scores, and it's a long way back for Casey's. But wet ball up that end of the field, it's just at the minute, how are they going to get in the position to get up there? So
Quilligan a few minutes ago got A score from this exact position, there isn't much of a difference from where he got the first one pass, so we'll be looking to land this one here as John O'Halloran blew the whistle. Chance for Quilligan again, and Newcastlewest not as good a strike this time and doesn't have the desired effect for Newcastlewest. Again, Pat, tricky on their foot. You're worried about your landing foot when you take them.
Yeah, and you could hear him being disappointed with the kick before it even got to the goals. And it's a let off for Casey's. They're still it's only a 1-score game still. They need to win obviously to get that final place. So 2 points. They're still within with a shout.
And have one possession here with Cathal Broderick, tries to find Rory O'Brien. O'Brien having to dive to win that one, needs a bit of help. 3 Newcastlewest players around him. Diarmuid Kelly has it now and has won a free. Advantage coming here for Newcastlewest and Sean Murphy. Another free as well, but Diarmuid Kelly fouled over there right in front of John O'Halloran off the ball as well. A clash between him and Cormac Roach. And Mike Quilligan hadn't even gotten back to goals and he's coming straight back up.
Yeah, Owen Hurley's kind of looking like give it to me. But they're letting Mike Quilligan, they're having a discussion. Yeah, Hurley, it's a few yards in after 45, so he probably feels he has the distance on it this time.
Quilligan will have to trot back to goal as well. He's not in any rush either, Pat. As Owen Hurley lines this one up, he's got 3 so far in the game. Is this number 4? Just had enough on it. Owen Hurley knew exactly what he was at. 4 points for him, 4 frees, Pam. We've mentioned it so many times over the years how vital it is to have such a quality free taker.
Yeah.
He was metronomic in the county final last year and is exactly the same today.
Yeah, you have to, at this level, it's a must-have if you're going to win. You just have to nail your frees because it's so hard to get scores from play that the majority of your scores, or at least half of them, will be coming from dead balls. So it's a big boost. 3-point lead, just with the weather and everything and the way the game is going, it's a big lead at the minute.
Huge free from Owen Hurley here as Father Casey's bring Donna Kelly on for Dylan Cork, but it's Newcastlewest looking to come away with this one. Battle for it, pressure on here, and they've won it, have Newcastlewest, and there's a foul as well. And it's just all coming up Newcastlewest at the moment, Pat.
Yeah, they're winning everything at the minute, and it's just how you're looking who's going to get their hands on the ball for Abbey Field to make a difference. Probably need to get Rory O'Brien out in the field and maybe get on the.
It's Newcastlewest holding on to possession now. The call is to deliver it in long towards Mike McMahon. Again, that plan doesn't go their way. A poor enough delivery in.
It's the classic one from the backs as well. Work it around like you're getting the shout from behind. What's the point shooting there? But look, it's a chance that Newcastlewest can take at the minute because they have the cushion of 3 points. John Reardon, and he's someone now that could get hands on the ball and start something for Casey. So they have that bit of experience on the field now, but it's just about can they break that Newcastlewest tackles when they come, and they are coming a lot.
And it's John Reardon, of course, a vastly experienced footballer, former Limerick man as well here. And it's Rory O'Brien, very far out from goal. They need him inside as well as out the field, winning possession. And it's Chris Smith now, takes a high challenge. It's Chris Smith still going though. Is the Father Casey's number 13, gets the hand pass away to the aforementioned Reardon, finds Martin Scannell. They need a score badly here to Father Casey's. They've got a free, and with 25.5 minutes played, they need this one to go over.
Yeah, but it was well worked. Like they got Rory O'Brien, like hasn't seen much of the ball, to be honest, and he's come out and got on the ball there. And even Chris Smith did very well there to be able to get out of the situation that he was in. And Martin Scannell, like been saying it, but he's the man that needed to get on the ball. He was able to manufacture a free there. If he had been getting onto his right leg, he'd have probably thrown it over, but he was able to make sure, okay, I'm not getting a shot off here, but I'm getting a free. And it's a scoreable one, and it just means that they, rather than them having to try and work the ball up the field, they get to face the Newcastlewest kick out, which they haven't faced too many in this half.
That's Martin Scannell with this free. 3 points in the game so far, and that should be number 4. The white flag is raised, Pat. We said it, much needed score, but effectively it's still a 3-point lead for Newcastlewest from Father Casey's point of view.
It is,
as they need to win.
Yeah, and look, they're bringing Mike Mahon probably out for this kick out as well now, and it's a bit of a mismatch on Cormac Roach, but they need to get hands on this whatever way they can.
And they've done the double bluff here, switching it over towards Sean Murphy. Good work from Sean Kilbridge, but Murphy has still won possession. Finds Mike O'Keefe, definitely getting a nosebleed, been out that far, but a brilliant delivery inside. And it's Brian Nix that has it now. It's Brian O'Sullivan. Maybe a goal chance here as Diarmuid Kelly goes through. May need to just put it over the bar. It's a good challenge from Cormac Roach, and that could end up being a vital one here as Cormac Roach and Diarmuid Kelly just getting to know each other a bit more there. But There was a chance maybe Dermot Kelly should have just fisted that over the bar. The angle was there for it.
Yeah, just take the score there. But to be fair to Conor McRoach, it's so easy in those situations. 99 times out of 100, the fella flies across and just fouls and brings him down. But he got the hand on the ball, dislodged it, and even managed to make sure that it's a kick out. So it's a huge moment in keeping the game alive.
And it's Adrian Enright now in possession for Father Casey's. They really need him to lift his side at this stage. He's trying to go through, and away comes Chris Smith now after taking that pass from Adrian Enright. To Robert Brown now, and across it goes to Eli Reardon. It's had a quiet second half in comparison to the first, as Eli Reardon back to Adrian Enright, finds a pass to Martin Scannell. The hand pass comes in too, out comes, and it's Daniel Daly, I think, that was there. The shot eventually coming in, and it's another score. Daniel Daly with the finish for Newcastlewest, for Father Casey's. And it was a big hit there. Donagh Kelly put the hit in, worked out well for Casey's, and they kind of need that kind of physicality in their game to try and get a win now.
They do, because I know it's kind of counterintuitive, but to stay out of that centre mid, but that's where they have to go. But they need runners off it, and they had at that time. They had a bit of strength. They were able to break a tackle and win the ball, and then Daniel Daly coming off the wing to throw it over, and it's back to a point, and all of a sudden, it's guess what one score can do to lead to another, but. It's a lot of effort to do it, but that's what it's taken.
Indeed it is. Father Casey's right back into this game. Sean Murphy goes up. It's going to bounce for David Ward and Father Casey's, who have a bit of momentum behind them now. Ward needs a bit of help, finds it in the form of Chris Smith. Out to Eli Reardon now, and he's got Rory O'Brien up ahead of him. And the pass in fact is into John Reardon. Now it's Martin Scannell. Now it's Rory O'Brien. They need a score from Rory O'Brien, and they need it fairly quickly. Comes out again here, and they have to work it back to Chris Smith and back into the middle then, right over across to David Ward. They're working it to Daniel Daly, fresh from that score just moments ago. Back to Adrian Enright, dummies to shoot but loses out to Dermot Kelly. Does well though, does Enright, to make up for the mistake. Not according to the referee John O'Halloran. A free for Newcastlewest, and that one could prove vital.
Yeah, it's like when I'm sure Dearman has seen that move in county train a few times this year and was probably expecting that dummy to come from Adrian, but he didn't buy it. He got the hand in, probably a soft enough free really in the context the way the game has gone so far, but a big turnover there because Casey's looked like they were on the front foot.
And it's delivered in by Cian Sheehan. Cormac Roach gets the fist to it. It's going to bounce well for David Ward, and they've picked up loose possession again. John Reardon now has it for his side, and the Abbeyfield outfit now trying to get the levelling score here. It's Eli Reardon with the pass to Rory O'Brien. O'Brien, so dangerous so often, finds Martin Scannell, or the run of Martin Scannell, but Mike O'Keefe is there, and Darren O'Doherty is the man who comes away with possession. They needed accuracy there, Pat. Didn't happen.
Yeah, it was the right ball looking from here anyway. It was just either overhit or underhit, but it just in between two Abbeyfield players.
And it's a battle for possession here, and Father Casey's a runner again. That's a foul by Mike McMahon and John Reardon. And they've taken this quickly. It's Adrian Enright. He's got Eli Reardon up, helping. A few things happening off the ball here. But either way, it's Father Casey's in possession here. Daniel Daly coming back towards the middle. As Pat Ranahan mentioned, they're going to have to go through that middle to try and get something from this game now. And it's now John Reardon for Father Casey's. Rory O'Brien up in front. Casey's running out of time. We've played 30 minutes here and 34 seconds of added time as Rory O'Brien tries an outrageous effort. Pat, that one needs to be recycled. He doesn't need to be told that.
Yeah, look, maybe he does, but it's just one of those ones just that, like, it's a low percentage shot at the best of times. That's a mind when the ball is wet and it's coming off their foot that way, and there was no need. Look, I'm sure he had best intentions there, but just you're getting so few opportunities, you have to make the most of them, and it's just one that kills you because you've worked it up the field, you've forced turnover again, and you just haven't been patient enough to wait for the opportunity, and it's just a killer for Casey's.
Good against kick out now, straight down the middle towards Mike McMahon. Just got a fist to it, and it's Dermot Kelly that's first to react under pressure from Dermot Buckley, but Cian Sheehan has a loose ball. This could be over here if they can manage a score. Newcastlewest, Cian Sheehan has it, dummies back onto his left foot. Cian Sheehan with the shot. Cian Sheehan has popped that one straight over the bar. It's a 2-point lead for Newcastlewest. The one player Casey didn't want that foul, that was Cian Sheehan. Right or left, no problem.
Yeah, just the confidence he has, I suppose, off his left there coming in, who's normally right-legged. But Mike McMahon out in the kick out again there, just such a weapon. If he's not catching it, he's flicking it on 30 yards. And Newcastlewest have gotten great joy out of a few of their kick-outs in this game so far. Big score now, 2-point game. But again, the Casey's had to win anyway, so it's still, they probably need a goal, and they probably did need a goal anyway.
Yeah, Rory O'Brien has gone off the Father Casey's side now as well. So that's one threat they don't have for the remainder of this game here, as Cormac Roach is in a bit of trouble with the referee again here, and so is Brian Nix, I think it is there, Pat. It's not Brian Nix. It's Owen Hurley that's in a bit of trouble there. So plenty of substitutes coming on the field as well.
Brian Foley and Thomas Quilligan onto the Newcastlewest team there. So look, I know we're in injury time, and this is probably just to probably try and see it out. And you've Michael Mahan now gone to midfield, and they're happy enough, I suppose, to let off a sharp kick out and make Casey's try and work it into the field.
It's all to do now for Father Casey's as we're deep in added time here. Shane O'Connell goes shot. It's not one of his better ones today, and it's Newcastlewest have plenty of players there to pick up the loose ball. And Adrian Enright has done well to try and win that back. The foot came in from the Newcastlewest player, and it's going to be another free here for Father Casey's. They need a goal, and they need it badly here. To the Abbeyfield side, Mark McCarthy looking for a bit of help. Eventually finds it in the form of Dermot Buckley. They're going to try and, well, Pat, are going to have to move it quick. Yeah,
and I suppose quick but measured at the same time, because they're not probably going to get another opportunity to build an opportunity here. So and he'll give him the time. Referee will usually give him one. So don't force it is the big thing here. Just wait for your opportunity until it becomes okay. Now we can put it in proper ball rather than just launching it.
And it's Eli Reardon has it now, and there's other sub on his Owen Joy. Owen Joy switches it. Another vastly experienced footballer is Owen Joy. Dermot Buckley now for Father Casey's. There's it to Mark McCarthy, and they're just trying to get the right players in the right position here, but it's a goal they need. Here is David Ward. There's it back to Daniel Daly. Daly into the middle to Martin Scannell. So often the leg man. Ward coming off the shoulder very well here. Still going, David Ward. He's been fouled as well. They probably need to put David Ward in around the edge of the square. Yeah,
you're looking in there, and there's no one inside there that really would be a threat. And now Newcastlewest are well set up. Look, probably here you just take your score and try and win the kick out rather than trying to force something that isn't there at the minute. Newcastlewest are well set up now, and just tap this over or put it dead anyway and try and win the next kick out and go from there, because they, like you've said at the start, John, a draw is no good. They have to win.
And see, Robert Brown has found his way up into the full forward line as well.
Bit of smarts and cutes up there, like you need that, just cleverness, maybe a flick here or there.
Martin Scannell sends it over the bar, no problem whatsoever there. It's a 1 point game again here in Drumcolliher. We've played nearly 5 minutes of added time. It's at the discretion now. It has been for a few minutes for the referee John O'Halloran and Mike Quilligan in no real rush to take this one either.
No, and you can't imagine it'll be too long more, unless this finds into Casey's hands, it's pretty much done, I'd say.
Kick out from Quilligan comes. Mike McMahon is up there. It's going to bounce for Father Casey's, and the foul has come their way as well. So Dermot Buckley has possession. He's going to look quickly to find a teammate, and it's back with Buckley again from Cormac Roach to Mark McCarthy. Mark McCarthy has several options on his shoulder. One of them is Eli Reardon, and that's the option he chooses. Reardon inside, but the hand pass is well read by Mike O'Keefe, and that's the full-time whistle comes from referee John O'Halloran. It's Newcastlewest atop the group, and by virtue of a 12 points to 11 victory. It's they that join Adair in the county semi-finals, while Father Casey's have to settle for a quarter-final spot, waiting on full time from the other games. Monaleen look to have booked their spot as well, along with Father Casey's and Newcastlewest in knockout stages. Pa, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it was even throughout. I suppose the bit of experience that Newcastlewest have of managing games and just seeing it out came through in the second half. They managed it towards the end. They got their bit of a lead. They emptied their bench. Casey's started the second half fantastically, and it was one or two moments that there was a spell there about 5 minutes where just hand passes didn't go to hand, and it went from an opportunity for them to scores for Newcastlewest. So lessons to be learned for Casey's side. They're out again, I think, next week in a quarter final against Kildimo, and that'll bring its own challenges because they probably mentally needed to win today, just to give them that extra bit of confidence going into the knockout phase of, look, we're able to win these big matches, but like, they're still in it and they are dangerous, and they will fancy their chances as they move through it. Newcastlewest, look, there's an expectation now almost at this stage that they're going to get to finals and semi-finals at least, so nothing new on their end.
Just the football championship as a whole, it is no surprise to see Adair and Newcastlewest in the semi-finals, although very, very good championship so far from Casey's and St. Kieran's. In fairness, 1 point in each final round game that decided the semi-final. So it has been Adair and Newcastlewest in the last few years that have dominated. But there are signs that there are other teams on the way to challenge them. This is a very even contest today. It was a very even contest between St. Kieran's and Adair yesterday as well.
Yeah, look, the gaps are never massive anyway. The dark horses are always the Moleens of this world. If they find their way into knockout stages, no matter how, they just seem to pull players from all over it in. So they'll be very tough opponents for St. Kieran's if that takes place next week. With hurling, you don't know. But Newcastlewest, I suppose, have their own challenges with a lot of dual players playing hurling. Casey's don't have that. So they can, if they can get over the next round in the quarter final, they'll be going in against Adair, who they've beaten in the most recent game against them. They've had a win over them. So while they're disappointed today, if they can mentally just get over for next week and get over that hurdle, it'll be a 50-50 game, I think, between themselves and Adair. Adair missing a few bodies this year, long-term injuries. Newcastlewest, you'd have to say at the minute, just given what you've seen today and the players they're bringing back and the new players they have this year, they're still the team to beat.
They are indeed. Newcastlewest, last year's champions, have booked their semi-final spot in the 2022 Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship. It's confirmed now that Monaleen have booked a quarter-final spot. They've beaten Claughaun by 3-12 to 7 points in Mungra today. So that's our lineup for the semi-finals and quarter-finals. Adair and Newcastlewest into the last four, and they're joined by St. Kieran's and Killima Palace Kenry from Group 2 and Father Casey's and Monaleen from Group 1. That's all from us in Drumcolour. My many thanks to Parana in commentary. Join us for more live action soon.